Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first Zoom reading of the 35th annual edition of Brave New Playwrights and our second pandemic edition. We are all spread out all over Canada right now, but UBC itself sits on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded lands of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations, and we are very grateful to be able to work and learn on that space, physically present when we are there and in spirit right now. We have an awesome evening of plays lined up. So there will be 5 plays, and then if you want to stick around afterwards, there will be a short Q&A with the playwrights and the director. And if you like what you see tonight, there's going to be more stage readings on the next Saturday and the Saturday following this month, and then recordings of live productions that'll be going live on Vimeo in April, starting on April 17th with a play a day. So with that, welcome to tonight's edition of Brave New, and I'm going to turn it over to Laura Harris, the director of tonight's program.
Hello and welcome to this festive evening. I haven't done theater in exactly a year yesterday. I was last on stage a year ago, so it's very fortuitous that I'm here directing these readings tonight for you. And yeah, and also kind of an amazing feat. I'm actually in Vancouver, Washington, and 2 of my actors are from Toronto, Ontario, and then 2 of the actors are reading from Vancouver, British Columbia. Only a pandemic would make such an international event. Am I right? Anyway, I'm just going to jump right in and start. I'm going to introduce my actors, Janelle Hanna and Daniel Krolik, and they're going to be reading for you tonight. Janelle is reading Laura, and Daniel is reading Joey and Dad, and I'm going to turn off my microphone and then start this read. So just give me a few moments. Oh, and I should say I am reading stage directions. So the first play is Mr. Right by Camille Lemire, and the characters are Laura, an anxious bride, 27, Joey, a relaxed, self-assured groomsman, brother of Laura, early 20s. Dad, owner and head chef of this restaurant, proud and funny, played by the actor who plays Joey. The set is a vanity table with a chair where all the props are. Props are a pill bottle, lipstick and makeup brushes, champagne bottle, and bouquet. Scene 1, setting, a bridal chamber. There's a table with a chair that acts like a vanity. On the table, there is a small bouquet with a pill bottle hidden under it, makeup supplies, and a bottle of champagne. Laura paces up and down the front of the vanity, taking deep breaths. There's a knock off stage.
Mr. Wright, is that you? Come in.
After a beat, Joey enters.
They said it's just going to be a couple more minutes.
Have they found him yet?
I'm sure everything's under control.
Yeah, so under control that my wedding ceremony still hasn't started an hour after we're supposed to begin.
Well, it looks like the Valium I gave you earlier didn't work.
Leave it to me to be the only person that can mess up getting fucked up.
Yeah, you can always take another.
You're positive taking a third won't hurt? I haven't been drinking a lot yet.
Have you met your soon-to-be in-law cousins?
Laura sits in front of the vanity, grabbing the pill bottle, taking one out. She picks up the champagne bottle and swallows the pill before taking a sip of champagne and another, and starts to take large gulps.
Don't judge, Joey.
What sort of best man would I be if I did?
It would make you an even worse brother. I wish Dad was here.
That makes one of us.
What did you say?
I said you may want to reapply your lipstick. It's a little smudged.
Oh, thanks.
Laura grabs the lipstick off the vanity. She reapplies as if looking into a mirror. The drugs are starting to kick in.
Frosted Rose. That's the name of my lipstick shade.
That's pretty, I guess.
Did I tell you, this was the lipstick I was wearing the night I met Mr. Wright?
Drink some water? I should go check in with the groom. It'll only be a couple more minutes.
Yeah, a couple more minutes until the rest of my life.
Laura grabs the champagne bottle as Joey walks off. Scene 2, the kitchen of a restaurant, continuous from scene 1. Laura puts down the champagne bottle and stands in front of the table. She pantomimes slicing vegetables. Offstage, Dad hums. Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper. Suddenly, something thuds.
Dad, is that you?
I'm fine. My mother says, when you gonna live your life right?
Do you need help lifting that box of clams?
Wanna have fun. Oh, girls just wanna have fun.
I could really use some help with lunch prep.
This,
The phone rings in the middle of the night.
Dad enters, pantomiming carrying a box, the same costume as the scene previous, except without a jacket. Dad puts the box down and stands a few feet away from Laura, pantomiming slicing and grilling food. They face opposite each other.
My father says, won't you go and have a good life?
My father yells, what you gonna do with your life? Those are definitely not the words.
And girls just want to cook now. Oh, Laura just wants to cook.
Yeah, I do approve of those lyric changes.
That reminds me, do you have a chance to approve the books for this month?
I thought Joey was gonna help.
Oh, well, your brother's busy. Apparently he has a rehearsal from some new bigwig show he's performing in.
I'll take a look. When do you need to get the numbers to the accountant?
We have until the end of the week, but the sooner the better, I think.
Okay, well, I guess I'll come in early tomorrow.
Why don't you look at them after closing?
I'll just come in early.
But we open for breakfast at 8 a.m. Are you really gonna arrive before 6?
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Or what's going on?
Well, I maybe have a pre-engagement.
Pre-engagement. Does my little Lori Bori have a date?
No, it's just like drinks.
Drinks? With who?
Just a guy.
A guy, huh? How do you know this guy?
We met on Tinder.
You met where? Never heard of that restaurant.
Dad.
Is Tinder the phone game one? Like the Flappy Bird? Like you swipe one way for yes and
Right.
no?
And left.
So I guess you could say you found a real Mr. Right.
That was a disgusting pun.
So is that how you win this Tinder game, by meeting people?
It's not a phone game, Dad.
No point system?
I guess if you win, if you like end up in a relationship or something.
And do you want that?
He's nice and he laughs at my jokes.
Well, you are a very funny girl. My funny little girl.
Dad.
But seriously, Laura, you're always here day in, day out, working so hard. I know you don't think I don't notice, but I see how hard you work, and it's nice to see you doing something for yourself for a change. As much as I would hate for another man to tie you away from me, if this Mr. Right makes you happy, then I am too.
Dad. The only thing I want to be tied down to is this restaurant.
The books will be fine to wait until morning.
Dad, can I hug you?
Where do those clams go, by the way? We need them for the dinner special. They must be around here somewhere.
Dad? Dad, please, Dad?
But Dad turns around and leaves. Scene 3, the bridal chamber. Laura stands where she was at the end of the last scene and glances around anxiously. After a beat, Joey enters, his jacket on.
Dad, is that you?
What did he just say?
Nothing, sorry.
Well, the guys downstairs said it's just going to be a couple more minutes. It's under control.
You know, my groom is missing and my wedding ceremony was supposed to start like an hour ago. What exactly is under control here?
You're just experiencing some wedding jitters. It's totally normal.
What's a girl got to do to get her Valium to kick in?
Want to take another?
Laura grabs her lipstick, shakily applying.
This lipstick is called frosted rose. Did I ever tell you that was the lipstick I was wearing when I met Mr. Right?
Joey grabs the lipstick from Laura.
No one cares what color lipstick you were wearing when you met your fiance.
Is this the drugs? Drugs?
Joey kneels in front of Laura, grabbing her hands.
Look, I always do this thing before an audition that I think will help you. Repeat after me. She sells seashells by the seashore.
She sells seashells by the seashore.
Slow it down. She sells seashells by the seashore.
She sells sea smells by the seashore.
Okay, forget it. Let's try another one. Irish wristwatch.
Irish wish wash.
Irish wristwatch.
Irish wish wash.
I wish fuck. You got me.
Maybe I shouldn't worry about memorizing my lines. I'll go up there, and when the priest asks, Laura Natalie Neiman, will you take Mr. Wright to be your lawfully wedded husband? I'll just be like, yeah, sounds chill.
You just need to say, I do. It's like saying yes. You say that all the time, right?
I guess.
You said yes to 3 Valiums today.
I said yes to getting married.
You're tying the old knot.
To being tied to Mr. Wright. To quitting my job and moving across the country so he could go back to school. I said yes to all of that.
Joey takes off his jacket again. Leaving it on the chair, he crosses the stage.
Think of how happy it will make Mr. Wright. Say yes to all his hopes and dreams.
Yeah, his dreams. Did he dream of leaving me at the altar?
Who?
Mr. Wright? Where is Mr. Wright?
Joey exits. Scene 4, setting, the kitchen of a restaurant. Laura stands in the same spot as scene 2. There is a crash off stage. For the duration of this scene, Dad is a little bit more tense from the beginning, but warms up.
Mr. Wright, is that you?
Dad enters pantomiming, carrying a box.
Did he say something? I was just grabbing the clams from the back.
Dad puts the box down, stands opposite Laura, pantomiming, grilling.
Oh, I was distracted, sorry.
Have you taken a look at the books for this month?
Oh, no, not yet. Wasn't Joey supposed to look at them?
Apparently your brother is busy. He has a rehearsal or something.
I can take a look. When do you need to get to the numbers, to the,
Accountant?
yes, to the accountant.
Well, we have until the end of the week, but the sooner the better, I think.
Okay.
And then what did you say?
What?
Do you remember what you said next? I'll come in early tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll come in early tomorrow.
Or what's going on?
Well, I maybe have a pre-engagement.
A pre-engagement? Does my little Lori Bori have a date?
No, it's just like drinks.
Drinks with who?
Just a guy.
But then how do you win?
When what?
No point system? Is this Tinder like the Flappy Bird on my phone?
No, I guess you win if you like end up in a relationship or something.
Do you want to end up in a relationship with this Mr. Wright?
He's nice and he laughs at my jokes.
Seriously, Laura. You're always here, day in, day out, working so hard. I know you think I don't notice, but I see how hard you work, and it would be nice to see you doing something for yourself for a change. I just hate to see you tied down from all the things you can do, the things you can be.
Did you ever think of the ways you were tying me down?
Sorry, what did you say?
The only thing I want to be tied down to is this restaurant, Dad.
You are a very funny girl. My funny little girl.
Dad.
Also, do you know where that shipment of clams went? I swear they're around here somewhere.
You just brought them in, Dad. They are right here.
Laura crosses the stage, pantomiming, picking up the box.
I better go look for them. Where could have they?
I'm right here, Dad.
Dad doesn't hear her and leaves. Scene 5, the bridal chamber. Laura stands where she was at the end of the last scene, still pantomiming with the box of clams. She drops it.
Fucking clams.
Laura walks towards the vanity. She picks up a lipstick from the table and carefully reapplies it. Joey enters. He isn't wearing his jacket.
Dad, is that you?
No. I just came to tell you it'll just be a couple more minutes. You okay?
Have I told you about my lipstick? I wore it the night I met Mr. Wright. It's called Frosted Rose.
That's pretty, I guess.
It's impractical. It's impractical. A rose by any other name would smell just as sweet. Unless that rose is dead from being left to freeze. You know, I also wore this lipstick to Dad's funeral. I guess there aren't a lot of nights where I'm not wearing this lipstick.
Laura puts the lipstick down.
Do you think Dad would have liked Mr. Wright?
He did like Mr. Wright.
Do you like Mr. Wright?
We're getting married.
You were supposed to be getting married. He left you at the altar. Worse, he left you before you could even walk to the altar. Before he could show everyone that you were the sort of person that someone would walk up to an altar for.
It isn't about that.
Then enlighten me. What's it about?
I love him.
Well, I think this is about Dad. About holding on to that fucker. That's what I never really understood about you, Laura. Why would he want to hold on to him? He couldn't stand us.
He was proud of us.
No, he wasn't. And we weren't proud of him. His restaurant was a joke.
I loved that restaurant.
And you sold it the first chance you got after Dad died.
Well, it's not like you wanted it. You hated Dad.
You don't know what I wanted, ever. Maybe I wanted Dad's restaurant. Do you think it's easy being a fucking actor?
I'm sorry that I gave you the chance to dream.
Give yourself a chance.
I didn't. Mr. Wright was going to grad school.
You followed him for what? Why couldn't you just wait until closing?
Closing what?
Joey walks away from her, taking on the pose he uses when he plays Dad, grilling in the kitchen. He pantomimes grilling. This version of Dad is cold and sarcastic.
The books, Laura. The books you said you would look over this week. Can you look at them after closing tonight?
Joey, what are you doing?
Fuck Joey. That lazy kid wouldn't help his old man if I pleaded. I have rehearsal tonight, Dad. This could be my big break. When will you look at the books?
Oh, I'll just come in early tomorrow.
Or what's going on?
Well, I maybe have a pre-engagement.
A pre-engagement? Does my little Lori Bori have a date?
No, it's just like drinks.
Drinks? With who?
Just a guy.
A guy, huh?
He's nice and he laughs at my jokes.
Well, you are a very funny girl. My funny little girl. And you know you're always here, day in, day out, working so hard. I know you think I don't notice, but I see how hard you work. And it's nice to see you doing something for yourself for a change. I would hate for another man to tie you away from me.
Dad.
I'm gonna grab the box of clams from the fridge. We need them for the dinner rush.
Don't.
Dad ignores her and exits. Laura returns to pantomiming cutting vegetables. She starts humming Girls Just Want to Have Fun by Cyndi Lauper from the first scene. Dad re-enters, pantomiming carrying the box of clams.
Why should I?
Excuse me?
I worked for you ever since I was a kid, Dad. And you would think that after almost 20 years of working together, that you would want me to be happy. So I'm going to sing if you like it or not. I come home in the morning, like my mother says, when you gonna live your life right.
You know this isn't right.
Oh, Mama dear, you're not the fortunate ones. And girls, they wanna have fun.
You always told Mr. Wright that you told me about him before I died, but you didn't.
Oh, girls just wanna have fun. The phone rings in the middle of the night. My father yells, "What you gonna do with your life?"
You remember what you actually said?
Laura stops singing. After a moment, she returns to her spot in the pantomime kitchen. Dad drops the box of clams and returns to the pantomime grilling. His tone is still cold.
Wasn't Joey supposed to look at them?
He's busy. apparently has rehearsal for another dead-end play.
I'll just come in early.
Laura, what's going on?
Nothing. Nothing's going on. I'll come in tonight to look at the numbers, Dad.
They both stop pantomiming.
That's it. That's all you said to me. Do you remember what happened next?
We served the lunch rush.
You know what I'm talking about.
I went to the bathroom to text Mr. Wright that I wasn't going to make it for drinks, and you tripped on the box of clams, which was dumb because you were the one that put the box on the ground in the first place.
You really want to blame me for this?
You know, I've only ever blamed myself. That I was destined to blame myself for everything bad that has ever happened to you or Joey or Mr. Wright. But you had the worst of it. You died. You tripped over a box and hit your head so hard that you never woke up. You were dead before the ambulance arrived.
Well, you are a funny girl. My funny little girl.
Dad walks over to the vanity table and grabs his coat. He exits, and Laura stares at him the whole time, speechless. Knocking off stage, Laura pantomimes opening a door, and Joey enters with his coat on.
Laura, thank God.
Let me guess. It's going to take a few more minutes because my groom is still fucking missing.
What? No, I've been worried about you. The door was locked and no one knew if you were in here or if you had left or...
Mr. Wright's here?
Of course. Why would he leave?
Oh, I'm sorry. I just had the strangest feeling.
We should probably head downstairs.
Joey, wait. I never said sorry to you.
About what?
About when Dad died? I thought you were sad, like people are supposed to be when their fathers die, but you were happy sad, weren't you? Like me?
Laura, stop. We don't need to be talking about this in your wedding day. Are you sure you're feeling all right? Are you up to this?
I'm fine. Everyone gets a little nervous on their wedding day, right? The Valium probably didn't help either.
You took drugs?
Yeah, I seem to be getting confused.
Laura grabs her lipstick.
Did I tell you I was wearing this lipstick the night I met Mr. Wright?
Maybe. Does it matter what lipstick you wore?
This is the lipstick I always wear because that's how you win the game. All you have to do is swipe right. You just keep swiping right because eventually the odds are going to stack in your favor if you just say, yes, yes, yes. That's what I did. I said yes to you, yes to Dad, yes to Mr. Wright. I'll walk up that aisle and say, I do. I'll swipe right on destiny.
Joey slowly exits. Laura doesn't notice.
Just another frosted rose melting away. Or maybe I was never frozen. Just wilting. A soggy mess of petals. Maybe I was born already rotting. Maybe I'll walk down that aisle, Joey, and realize I was never a rose at all. It's just a box of clams, ready to trip up some absent-minded guy who dared to fucking step in my way. Maybe I'm the whole damn ocean, Joey. Did you ever think about that, Joey? Are you listening, Joey?
Stage knocking. Laura looks around confused. She pantomimes opening the door. It's Joey again.
Laura, thank God. What were you doing locked in here? Your ceremony is about to start. Are you ready to get married? What's so funny?
Nothing, Joey. Where's my bouquet? It's the first day of the rest of my life.
They leave. End of play. Fireworks, confetti. That was amazing. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I might cry a little bit during these readings tonight because I'm just in that mood, when you're in that mood and you need to cry a little bit. I'm just going to congratulate Camille, the playwright, and Daniel and Janelle for reading that gorgeous play. I'm going to move on to the next one, which will give Janelle a little bit of time just to get into her jeu. And she is going to be reading the solo show that I'm going to be presenting next, which is The Sword on the Steps by Emily Dallas. And I'm just going to get Janelle to switch in her name. And I'm stalling, of course, I'm stalling. So maybe Janelle, if you're ready, just let me know with a little, hey.
We're good now.
Okay, great. Awesome. All right. So I'm actually going to keep my camera on just for the first part, introducing this play. I'm switching it up. I'm switching how I do this because I haven't done this before, but I am reading all of the stage directions and I'm your MC for this event. Okay. So The Sword on the Steps by Emily Dallas. Characters: Sarah, a young, giddy, and talkative girl of 9 3/4. She adores her friend, Emma, more than anything in the world. She loves to swim, explore, and make believe. Her superpower is her imagination. Her element is water. The next character is Emma, Sarah's next door neighbor and best friend, a passionate animal lover who can talk to birds and may or may not know how to fly. She has recently been diagnosed with brain cancer and is undergoing aggressive and immune system crushing chemo. Her superpower is her kindness. Her element is air. Props and set. The action takes place on the roof of a cottage and in the driveway at twilight. All of this can be implied movement. I think I can skip over this. Yes, I'm going to skip over this. And then I'm going to turn off my camera and we will start. It is midsummer night in British Columbia on Kootenay Lake, the most beautiful and magical lake in the land. The sun begins to creep behind the striking huge mountains and a light blue twilight fills the sky. A young girl of 9 3/4, Sarah, stands on the roof of her parents' summer cottage. She is looking out over the lake, but appears frustrated. The only thing out of place amongst the pristine landscape, her arms are crossed and she is fidgeting impatiently. She waits.
Summer sucks like bottom feeders when you're all alone. My mom was all like, it's gonna be fun. You can do crafts and jump rope. I was like, jump rope? I'm not a bunny rabbit, Mom. I like games with another person. I tried hopscotch, which is just a terrible game, honestly. Tried hide and seek with my sister. I looked for like an hour and I couldn't find her because she literally just left the house and abandoned me to go see a stupid boy. Tried checkers, no dice. My dad tried to teach me how to play solitaire, but it's literally just math. I even tried cup stacking because my parents said, we used to do this in gym. It's so fun. Not fun at all, especially when you use glass. I wasn't grounded for this because it was totally my parents' fault. They did not explain this cup thing very well. So now I swim. I'm a swimmer, one who swims. Oh, definitely not a climber, as you can see. I never used to swim very much because Emma hates it, but now it's all I do. My parents say I'm basically a fish. I think I'm more like water, same as the lake. I just become part of it. I spend pretty much all day in there. I'm the water and Emma's the air.
A hummingbird flies in Sarah's face. She nearly falls.
Whoa, that was close. Hummingbirds are tricksy little guys. Sometimes they fool me and I think they're giant bugs, but if you look closer, it's a teeny tiny bird. Emma told me their wings can beat like 80 beats per second. Emma knows everything about birds. She knows everything about everything, honestly. My roof is here and hers is right here. We've been neighbors since before we were born. We go to the same school, have the same friends, and we take music class together on Saturdays. I'm 9 3/4 and she's 10, so that's why she knows more than me. She's wise because she's older. Huh. You can hear the water lapping. Sounds like it's breathing. I've never noticed because at this hour, Em and I are usually doing extremely important stuff like playing Mario Kart and eating vanilla pudding with sprinkles. My Lonely Lake swims are actually awesome. Not as awesome as adventuring with Emma, but the most awesome this summer could be. I'm working on holding my breath as long as I can because I'm trying to see how deep it goes. My dad bet me $10 I won't touch the bottom before summer ends. So there's a lot at stake here. And this morning, I'm breathing, I'm diving, I'm breathing, I'm diving, and then I touch the bottom. Boom! I'm $10 in the good, which is a ton of money when you have no money at all, like me. So I'm ready to pop up, and I feel something super weird. Not soft like sand, but hard like metal. And I reach down and grab something, and I pull it out. Well, okay, that's a lie. I didn't grab it. It sort of like floated to me. I can't lift this thing on my own. And it floats with me all the way to shore. And suddenly I'm on the sand with this metal thing. It's long and rusty and heavy, like 1,000,000 pounds. I'm running to my parents and freaking out. And then they're freaking out because they think my sister drowned or something. I'm like, no, not that cool, but still super cool. And we run to the water and I present a sword. That's what I think anyway. Mom and dad aren't so sure. At first they're all like, Sarah, it's just a stick. And I'm like, okay, sure, lift it then. Mom tries, fails so hard. Dad tries, nothing. Sister tries, a couple of neighbors try. We finally get my wagon and dig the side under it to flip it in. That's called physics, according to the grown-ups. And still nothing. Then the adults all started bickering. Shelly down the street is too weak to lift anything but a martini glass. And they don't want Clyde bringing down his midlife crisis truck because it'll just get stuck in the sand. When I blink and it's in the wagon. And everyone's looking at me and I'm like, hello, I told you all before, we're dealing with a magical situation here. We leave the beach pretty quick because according to my sister, I'm freaking people out. Dad calls some guy at a museum. And by this time, my parents are losing their minds. They're saying it will pay for college or something. They keep using the word artifact and they keep trying to lift it. All of us at the same time. Nothing works. Mom and dad made me swear not to tell anyone. So the nosy campers across the lake don't go like looking for their own treasures. Apparently this sword could mean this whole place is like an ancient burial ground or something. So we have to preserve the integrity of the site or whatever my dad keeps saying. And I double pinky promise, but I kept my fingers crossed behind my back because there's one person who can keep any secret I tell them. She says honesty is bravery, so I have to tell her the truth. Emma the angel needs to know about this. How long are her parents going to stay awake? The roof is the only way I can talk to her. But her parents have to be asleep first because if I get caught, I'm dead meat. Summer is supposed to be exclusive Emma and Sarah time. No stupid bullies, no stupid school. Our parents let us literally do whatever we want, like all day. We play tag and build forts. Oh, and one time Emma was trying to teach me how to fly. It didn't go well. I'm not good at flying. Emma's scared of water, so we don't swim together, but we do build sandcastles and sleep under the stars with the owls and bird watch, which sounds dumb, but with Emma, it's so fun because she tells me all the bird stories. We'd see blue jays, eagles, osprey, and Emma knows them all, like personally knows them. She talks to them about their families and bird lives. Like Grandpa Crow across the highway hasn't had a juicy worm in weeks. The summer dried them all up. Miss Robin, who lives in the birdhouse, she's on her second batch of chicks this year. And Mr. Pheasant, never mind. So Emma, I think birds love her because she's like them. She can fly because she's an angel, like a real angel from heaven. She's so nice and she has this wild, crazy blonde hair. And when the sun shines through it, it's like a halo. So that's my theory. She can talk to birds because she can secretly fly, because she's an angel. Kids at school used to make fun of her. They call her Bird Girl and squawk at her in the halls. And then one day she saw this kid, Damien, who we hate and promised to never like, nudging a baby robin with a stick. It fell out of its nest and kept opening its mouth, but no sound was coming out. And Damien the demon was poking it. Emma grabbed him by the shirt and pulled him off, but then he shoved her and called her a freak. So she punched him in the face. Yeah, she's the coolest. No one messed with Emma after that, obviously. Then our teacher was like, it's not good to hit. Hitting's not nice. We need to talk about our feelings. So she made us do these stupid share circles, and kids would get so nervous they'd cry until Emma started being brave and talking first. And she'd like share truth, even if it was ugly truth. And then everyone kind of followed. And then, well, everyone loves Emma now. Everyone. But the secret is, I love her most of all because she's my best friend who I can't see, which is my fault, sorta. More the pheasant's fault. In Share Circle, Emma says being honest is being brave, so maybe it's actually more my fault. So this pheasant flew over us the first week of summer, and it was huge. It was like a giant rainbow kite. And I freaked out and was like, Emma, who is that? And Emma said she'd never met him before. So I was kind of egging her on because I obviously wanted to know about his fabulous life. And Emma leaned really far forward to talk to him, but she couldn't quite hear him. So she leaned even more far forward, and then Emma forgot how to fly that day. That's why I'm not allowed on the roof. At first, my parents were yelling at me, and then I was going to be grounded forever, but the doctor said she was going to be okay because some bushes broke her fall, which isn't true. Emma was just surprised and only remembered how to fly at the last second. She saved herself. But no one would listen to me. They thought it was my fault. My big sister Melody, she hates Emma because I like Emma more than her, was all like, ha, you're going to be stuck inside all summer. Bird girl messed you up. So I pulled her hair. And then I was extra grounded. But then 2 weeks later, I saw Emma's car come back from the hospital, and Emma was in the back seat. I saw her, and so I tried to run out and see her, but then my mom, whoosh, stopped me in my tracks. Got all weird and was like, Emma's not quite ready to see you, sweetie. Another day, maybe. No way. I'm waiting. I am not waiting another day. She's home. Now everything could go back to normal. Then Mom said, Emma can't see you, Sarah. What? Is she mad at me? Because of the roof? She doesn't want to be my friend? What's happening? And I'm crying because, duh, this is pretty emotional for me. And my sister butts in and goes, Emma has but my mom goes, shh. Mom, what's going on? Sarah, remember how I told you they were doing a scan to see if Emma's brain was okay? Well, the doctors found something else on the scan that they didn't really expect. Something not good. It's not good news. Mom, what's wrong with Emma? Emma has, she's immunocompromised this summer, Sarah. You two can chat on the phone maybe when she's feeling better. She can tell you, immunocompromised? Yes, sweetie. I'm so sorry. I think no compromise. So at first I'm like, emu. Sarah has like 10 budgies and a canary, but not an emu. Maybe her parents got her one while she was at the hospital? A get better soon present. We went on a field trip to the zoo, and Emma told me emus are totally psycho. They say mean things and don't like anyone, and they will kill you with a thought. So maybe the emu won't compromise? Like, won't let them out of the house? Her parents probably didn't even know emus were deranged killers, and now they're trapped inside, and oh my God. And then my mom was trying to calm me down, but I needed to escape because there's a psychopathic bird trying to kill my best friend right now at this moment. Took me a couple days to figure it out. When my sister dropped the C word, Mom was so mad at her. And whenever they say it, they whisper it like they're saying Voldemort. Cancer. Like if you say it too loud, it will get stronger. We tried to FaceTime, but it was weird. Emma wouldn't turn her camera on, and she sounded funny. Her mom was there, which was the worst because we can't talk about important stuff when adults are around. I kept trying to cheer her up. I bet you get to eat all the candy. Do you have Disney Plus? Maybe we can watch Frozen together if we press play at the exact same time. Oh, do the birds still come to your window? I bet the hummingbirds miss you. Did I tell you I saw a raven the other day? That's cool. I think it was the same one that told us all about the treasure she had hidden, remember? Probably not, Sarah. There's ravens all over the place. No, it totally was. I can't talk to them like you can, but I'm practicing, and I swear it said angel, but like a raven, so more like ah. But she definitely was wondering where their angel went. And then I heard her mom crying, and Emma said she had to go. So that's why I'm basically risking my summer up here. If I'm caught, I'm grounded forever. But Emma needs to know. It might even cheer her up. So I'm pretty determined. All the lights are out. It's go time.
Sarah knocks on the window.
Emma! Bird girl! Okay, I'm sorry. I know you hate that.
Knocks on the window again. A figure appears. A young girl of 10 rises from the bed and approaches the window. She looks skinny and tired. There are dark circles under her eyes, and her face is incredibly pale. She is bald.
Emma? Stay back a little. I can't get too close to you. Germs. No germs allowed. Your hair. What happened? It fell out. Is it gonna grow back? I hope so. I missed you so much. I missed you too. I heard you talk to fish now. What? No way. Fish girl. I hate it. You called me bird girl. Fair is fair. Sorry. Emma the Angel. Better. I don't like that name anymore. Anyway, I'm not a fish. I'm water. I'm water and you're air. I like that. Are you okay? Not really. Why won't your parents let me see you? They think it will make me sad. They don't want me to think about what's happening. They want me to pretend like everything's normal, and they keep smiling, but I can hear them talking sometimes. And I'm really scared, Sarah. It's going to be fine. What if it's not? All the doctors, my parents, they keep saying we're in a battle. You're a fighter, just keep fighting. I don't want to let them down, but I feel like I'm losing. You need a weapon. The doctors say they have a bunch of weapons. Poison weapons. I can't see them, but I can feel them. I've got something better. I have, wait for it, a sword. I don't think that's the weapon they need. Not any sword, an ancient sword, possibly a magic sword. No one, and I mean no one can lift it, not even my dad. That just means it's heavy. No, I'm telling you, this sword floated itself to shore, like it was being led there. And then, this is the best part, it teleported into my wagon by itself. No way. Are you serious? Okay, swear you're not messing around. Cross my heart and hope to die. Come see for yourself. Go hold it up. I already told you I can't lift it. Bring it to the door. I'll sneak down. For real? What about the germs? Just leave it there and stand back. It's worth the risk. I know this sword is going to save her. Every warrior needs a weapon, and a sword is the greatest weapon of all. She
grabs her wagon with the sword and wheels it in front of Emma's house. A hummingbird flies by in a loud whisper.
Birds are here, dozens of them. I hear them. What are they saying? They're saying, pick up the sword. You can't just pick it up. Like, number one, the germ thing. Two, no one on the entire block can lift it, not even at the exact same time. Three, what did it say? They're saying, try. And then suddenly all the lights in our houses come on, and my stupid smelly sister's in the driveway going, Mom, I told you, Sarah's out here with the sword. And my mom runs out and grabs me and is yelling and saying something about Emma, but she's so mad, I can't even tell what she's saying. And my dad is shaking his head, and my sister looks so smug. And then I feel arms around me, and my mom starts pulling me into the house. No, Mom, Emma needs a weapon. She needs to fight. She needs to pick up the sword. She's strong enough, I know it. And my mom starts screaming about how I could have killed Emma and God knows what parasites are on that stupid metal thing I found with the sturgeons. And why don't I care about anyone other than myself? This isn't a game, young lady. This is serious. Emma is sick, and if you get any sicker, she'll die. And the words echo so loud in my head. But on the outside, silent. Sounds like I'm underwater. And I look at my mom, and she's staring past me towards Emma's house. So is Dad, and so is my sister. And she's never impressed by anything, and her mouth is like hanging open. And I don't know what's happening, and so I turn around.
Emma is lifting the sword all by herself over her head like a mighty warrior.
I'm doing it. You're strong enough. Way stronger than I thought, Sarah. I can fight. You can fight and win. Sucker punch it in the face like Damien. You can do this. I know it.
Emma sheaths the sword and walks back to her house triumphantly. Sarah faces the audience.
I was grounded for a week, but I was still allowed to swim. After the museum, people stopped pulling stuff out of the lake. There were brooches and 3 shields, 2 daggers, but only 1 sword. They took Emma's picture and put her on the front page. And though everyone who came to the lake tried, no one could lift the sword but her. For weeks after my grounding, the whole neighborhood was talking about what happened, about the girl who lifted the heaviest sword in the world. Some people said that means she's a queen. Some said she's a warrior. I say she's an angel. But she's not going to heaven anytime soon. She gets stronger every day. Sometime soon, I hope we'll be allowed to sit on the roof again, watch the birds and hear about their day. There's a woodpecker that keeps waking me up, and I really need Emma to talk to her and explain why pecking isn't allowed until at least 8. Maybe next summer. Yeah, next summer for sure. We'll be together. Playing tag, building sandcastles, sleeping under the stars with the owls. Next summer, I'm going to teach her how to swim.
End of play. Well, you basically saw Janelle Hannah do 2 plays and basically a full solo show for you this evening. I love you so much. Thank you.
I love
for
you.
that.
Thanks for asking me to do this. Thank you.
That was great. I'm not going to cry. Okay, so.
Oh, I love you.
All right, so I'm just going to move on.
I
to
love
something
you.
completely. Okay. Believe me, the next play is entirely different. Oh, that just hit me. Okay. Just to give myself a bit of reprise, I'm going to get the 2 actors on and get them to introduce themselves, if that's okay.
That's quite all right, Laura. Hello, everyone. I'm Martha, and I am going to be in the next 3 shows for you.
Hi, and I'm Valerie. I'm in this one and the final one.
Okay, great. So I will just introduce the next play, which is Crete by Barb Geinger. I hope that I'm pronouncing that right. And the characters are Queen Bee, the best writer around the table, with a few sales and more rejections than she would really rather think about. She was involved, not fundamentally though, with the creation of the writers group. Since she has been there from the beginning, she owns the joint. Old Head. He's been around, but never that far, played by a hand puppet. Young Head, a writer with more passion than talent so far, played by a hand puppet. Challenger, a writer with some sales on the cusp of something bigger. Props required. Long table with chairs, paper, laptop, or cardboard cut out with laptops written on them. 2 copies of a cardboard sword with cursed sword, 1 hand puppet size and attachable. Red silken material on a stick, a gold spray painted solo shot cup that can be attached to puppet's hand, 2 head dresses that could pass as medieval if you squint, 1 in the hand, puppet size, 2 hand puppets. I will just turn off my video and it will be. Fade in, scene 1. Meeting room. A long table and chairs take up the stage, and at the edge of the curtains, there's laptops, purses, bags, and papers at each seat, but only Queen Bee is talking to the puppets on her hand and to the who obviously aren't there. A low rumble of an indistinct, comfortable conversation fills the room.
And how is the query process coming along? Oh, it will come. I believe in you. I'd like to call the meeting. Everyone, let's get started.
Challenger enters.
Oh, hello. Are you looking for someone?
I'm sorry, is this the Eager Beaver Writing Industrial Complex?
It is. Are you looking for someone in particular?
Not really. I was told it was open for potential new members to observe. Is that...
Why don't you join us at the table?
Oh, I can just...
I insist. Who has a story for today?
End scene. Scene 2, a meeting room. Queen Bee is holding papers in one hand, Young Head in the other. Old Head lies on the stage, dead, red silk gutting him open. Young Head is kneeling over the body. His hands are also covered in silk. Challenger runs with red silk on the stage, swooping and fluttering. A large cardboard sword with the words "Cursed Sword" written on it lays at its feet. Young Head stands, picks up his sword, then drops to his knees like he never got up. He sobs as 19-year-olds think men sob.
Oh, what cruel fate divines such a twisted lives. I loved you as a brother, and I love you as more as a brother. Yet you both betrayed me and left me no choice. The end. On page 13, you say, as more as a brother. Did you mean as more than a brother? I understood what you were trying for, but you don't want to lose your reader. You really need to slow down and set the stage. Did you have something to say, Challenger?
I really respect the passion in the prose.
Is that all?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of work to be done, but the story, I can see it.
We like to be a little more precise than that around here, for next time.
I'll keep that in mind.
End scene. Scene 3, meeting room.
And as the old man drank from the cup of joy he retrieved from his youth, he realized that in that perfect, crystalline moment of his otherwise inconsequential life, that upon hearing the village bell ring thrice upon the wind, he would be gone, and no one at all, would miss him for more than the time it would take for the cock to cry out in the morn. Oh, beautiful. Just beautiful. The power you have over your words is just a wonder to behold. It's just beautiful. Young head, I mean, it was nice. And what do you think?
The imagery was there, but I wonder if everything being described so over the top doesn't let you hide important clues in what is being described in more detail.
We try to avoid negative critique like that. Why don't we just take a break and let things cool off?
End scene. Scene 4, meeting room. Queen Bee and Old Head are talking suspiciously by the coffee pot now on the table. Various baked goods are open and being shared. Piped in are conversations that are multiple people repeating different words as though actual conversation is actually happening. Words like publishing, book, sequel, and writer's block can be understood. Young Head, puppet is on Challenger's hand. Queen Bee is obviously throwing her voice from across the stage.
You're not leaving.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Hey, those people can't teach you everything you need to hear.
What do I need to hear?
Never let anyone tell you to slow down your story. Learn to run better, faster.
Oh, anything else?
Let's see that manuscript.
Young Head pantomimes a fight. He has no desire to win, but the cursed blade won't be satisfied until his friend and lover is dead. Challenger and puppet dance across the stage in an elaborate dance. Queen Bee blows more silk across the stage.
Okay, freeze. How are you feeling right now?
Angry.
At who?
My father.
Why?
Because he put this sword in my hand.
Write that story.
What are you two up to? Nothing. I'm gonna write all night, Queen Bee. Later.
Challenger takes young blood off her hand and throws it behind her.
I certainly hope you aren't encouraging him.
Why not? Is that why he's here?
He doesn't need to hear that he needs to become even sloppier with his prose.
I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Oh, nonsense. My story's the last one. You'll want to stay for it, I'm sure.
Scene 4, meeting room. Old Head and Queen Bee are both in medieval headdresses. They clutch each other's hands in front of them and walk slowly from one side of the stage to the back. When they reach the end, spin and walk again.
Tell me again how you stole the diamond, my dear queen. It was nothing. Don't tell me it was nothing. You're the best thief in the kingdom.
It was hardly anything at all. Let me tell.
Queen Bee repeats tell until they've made 3 turns around the front of the stage.
Well?
I wouldn't suggest changing a thing.
Really?
Really? Well, there. I suppose we'll call that a night.
End scene. Scene 5, parking lot. It's a parking lot with imaginary cars. Challenger pantomimes unlocking her imaginary car's door. Queen Bee comes running out.
What should I change?
Do you really want to know?
I heard what you said to the kid.
I think you need to understand show, don't tell.
I understand it.
You think you do. But you heard it's okay to tell if you're good enough. Show your readers your world.
I'm showing the conversation.
You're showing 2 characters walking. When you understand how to show your story, you learn how to tell a story.
I don't believe you.
That's because you've just been told it. Prove me wrong. You're either going to realize that following the rules is the shortcut, or you won't.
It's a play. How do I show writing a heist in a play?
The That was my challenge, not yours. You were writing a story. Before that scene, where were your characters talking?
In the garden.
And what were they doing?
Gardening. But they were talking about
You heard show, don't tell 1,000,000 times from the mouth of people doing what you want to for a living. We could argue about the efficacy of bridging scenes all day, but you're not telling the important bits, the unimportant bits, are you? When you got into writing, did you think walking down a hall would be most fun to write a heist that proves your protagonist is the once and forever princess?
It's that obvious.
If you want to follow your dreams, you have to do the work, and that means showing your work.
Do you really think you're better than me?
Yes, but I'm not the protagonist of your story. I don't have to be likable.
Challenger pantomime's getting into the car. It takes a few tries to start it. She drives off. Queen Bee remains alone on stage. Fade out. The end. Woo! Okay, so I'll get you to turn off your videos. Awesome. So that was Crete, and a totally different piece. I love how eclectic these pieces are tonight. And now we are going to move on to What You Inherit by Jasmine Ruff. And once I'm ready, I just want to make sure Martha has changed her name on her screen. And you can just give me a yay. Okay, great. You can turn off your video for the moment. Great. And I will start with What You Inherit is a one character play. Lila is a 22-year-old woman. At times, she takes on the persona of her grandmother. The play is set in Kootenai, British Columbia. Lila is home from university and sitting at her spot at the Courtney Air Park, a log on the beach that can't be seen by the nearby walking path. The log can be represented by a physical log or a block, a chair, or the ground. For props, the actor will need a cell phone. I will start. Sound of a plane flying overhead. Layla is sitting cross-legged. She's wearing jeans and a light sweater. Layla is addressing her friend, Stephanie. Stephanie is not there. The two no longer speak. This is Layla's attempt to understand why. She has gone over fragments of the following many times in her head.
When I woke up this morning, the light was kind of hazy and ethereal. In my old room, the one you would remember, the morning light was always bright because the window faced east. My mom is using that room as an office now, so I'm on the other side of the house. It disoriented me for a second, even though I've been back for nearly 3 months. And I could have sworn the patterns on the ceiling were moving. I don't know if I actually thought that or if I just wanted something to be different. Summer is almost over and getting drunk with people from high school has lost its appeal. Technically, I got a job at the beginning of the summer, but I've been so out of it. They let me go, which is incredibly embarrassing since it's Home Depot and I worked there all through high school. Mike tried to be really nice about it. He said they had accidentally hired too many people at the beginning of the summer, but that was obviously not true. They were always desperate for someone to cover the morning shifts. I was that bad. So I've been loafing around town. My mom is fed up with me being in the house, so she keeps sending me out to walk the dog. Princess can't handle that much exercise, which brings us to I've been thinking about when your Nan passed. I didn't know what to say. Now I realize I said all the wrong things. I'm still not talking to my grandma. with everything going on in the world, I feel like I should, but I just don't know how. Also, I don't know. I feel like she should be the one to contact me. She's the adult. I'm an adult too, I know, but you know what I mean. The last time I saw her was 2 years ago in a Tim Hortons parking lot. It was the summer after high school, the summer you stayed with Mom and I think that might have been the best summer of my life. Do you remember that day we came here and the tide was far out as we walked and our feet sunk into the sand? Those little fish kept jumping out of the water. Sometimes when I think of that, I'm not sure it was real. There must have been hundreds of fish. I think if we had kept going, we could have walked all the way to Comox. Or that time when we really hung over and drove around town. I remember feeling like everything was too far away or too close. And the way your car smelled, like those awful vanilla air fresheners. I wanted to throw them out the window, but you wouldn't let me, even though they only cost a couple of dollars. You were always so careful about things like that. And I admired you for it, even when it annoyed me. Anyways, the Tim Horton parking lot. My grandma nearly hit a Volkswagen van as she pulled in. The driver's face was red as he was shouting at her as he drove away.
Lila acts out the action below, running up, stopping, and minding picking up the keys.
When I approached her, she was trying to lock the car door. When I called out to her, it took her a moment to recognize me. She had her eyes dilated and pupils were huge, and she insisted she was fine to drive. She searched my face for something and then smiled. She was wearing what she always wore in the summers, a floral t-shirt and those bright colored capri pants. When she saw Jordan, her face dropped. She never liked him. You don't want to take any canning to Victoria, do you, Leila? I don't think I'll have any room for it in the car. I guess you're going with him. Jordan's going to be up in the Yukon, remember? Right. Good money up there. Honestly, I didn't think about her much that summer. Everything seemed so important because it was going to be the last time for us. The last time we went to the lake. The last time we hotboxed my mom's bathroom. The last time we drove around at night and listened to Fleet Foxes. I didn't realize how I felt about you then. There were a couple of family dinners. We always sat on my Aunt Carol's back porch eating corn on the cob and chicken or whatever, watching the hummingbirds zip from one feeder to the next. One night they were talking about you, and my grandma said something like, she sure is a pretty girl, or maybe, now that's a pretty girl. I'm so jealous that I wanted to disagree with them, which is stupid because I thought you were beautiful. The week before I left for university, my mom forced me to go and help my grandma with some things around her trailer. I think you were working that day, and Jordan was definitely already up in the Yukon by then. Maybe he and I had already broken up. Do you remember when I broke up with him over Facebook? We drank a lot of Malibu and you slept in my bed, and I was so grateful you were there. My grandma had me go up on this little footstool and dust everything and weed the garden, and mop the floors, and on and on and on and on. It must have been 4 or 5 when I finished everything. She and I sat on the swinging bench out front, and we were drinking iced tea. There was a family that had just got back from the store. They were unloading groceries. A couple that was walking a dog. That was, by the way, way bigger than the trailer park's regulation allowed. Yeah, and my grandma's metal wind chimes clinking together. I think I remember it so clearly because all the movement was overwhelming me. I wanted things to stay still for a second. I don't know what possessed. I should have known better. But I asked if she missed my grandpa. And she said, let me put it this way. Do you miss a rotten tooth after it's being pulled? And it was then that I remembered she was the same woman who, in a rage, put every toy and piece of clothing on the floor in my room in a garbage bag. And how she used to let me watch the Maury Povich show, even though I would wake up screaming from dreams where I thought men had thrown acid in my face. That when my Aunt Carol punched my mom in the face while wearing rings, she said nothing. A few months after that incident in the parking lot, my grandma moved in with my Aunt Carol. You were in Sackville by then and barely texting me back. I didn't mean to freak out so badly right before you left. I didn't actually think you would move to Victoria with me. I just wanted to daydream together, you know? And also, I feel like if there's any place that one can sob uncontrollably, it is an airport. The look on your face as you went through security, I think you knew then. That Christmas, my Aunt Carol and my mom had another falling out. Same thing as always, my mom's new boyfriend, which I get. She really knows how to pick him. But also I don't know. It's just so sad that I can't hold it against her. Whereas my Aunt Carol acts like it's a personal affront. My mom didn't want to go to Christmas with the whole family that year because she felt like it would be too awkward if she brought her boyfriend along. So we just stayed home. I should have called my Aunt Carol, but it had been a terrible term. I didn't make many friends. My classes all seemed so far away. I just couldn't understand why I was taking psychology or political science. I didn't have any motivation to study because I'd already gotten into university. So my grades were terrible. And I missed you. I finally realized that I loved you. And then you wouldn't text me back. When I came back to the valley, I wasn't thinking about family drama. I was thinking about the snow and how nice it was to walk around my old neighborhood. My mom had told my Aunt Carol some lie about how we were going to Tofino, and apparently on Christmas Day, my Aunt Carol drove to our house to see if the lights were out. She drove to our house on Christmas Day to see if the lights were out. That's wild, right? And when she called, that was when all hell broke loose. I told her that if she didn't get off on making my mom feel so bad, then maybe we would have come for Christmas. As you can imagine, she hung up, then unfriended me on Facebook, which made my mom unfriend her, etc., etc. After my mom went to bed, I dipped into her weed. By the way, to this day, she still hides it in the laundry room behind the fabric softener, as if I never do laundry. I was sitting in one of the old lawn chairs when I saw something in the plum tree. I took out my phone, and when I shone my flashlight, I saw it was just a raccoon. I held my gaze for a moment, though, and scurried away. I was on edge, and I kept trying to call you. I was thinking about how going to Victoria had created a divide between my mom and I. I had never thought we didn't have money, but so many of my classmates lived lives I didn't understand. Being around them made me realize that not everyone bought their furniture from Walmart and considered it nice. All term, I wanted to come home. But when I got here, I felt so ashamed of my grades, I could barely talk to her. I'm pretty sure that made her think I was looking down on her. which is so awful because she'd been so excited for me. She'd never gone to university. My grandparents could only afford to send Aunt Carol, and she dropped out after her first year. A few weeks ago, 2 years into the great silence, as my mom likes to call it, my grandma somehow managed to message me on Facebook. I'm not sure who, if anyone, had helped her. All she wrote was, "You have become a beautiful young woman." I wrote her back, but the message is still unread. When I tried to call her old phone number, someone else picked up. I know I should just get over it and call Aunt Carol, but doing so feels like betraying my mom. Even though my mom isn't dating that guy anymore, even though I could ask to just speak to my grandma, even though I think Aunt Carol would accept an apology. And so I guess in a way, this is my apology to you. I'm sorry about your Nan. And what I should have said is that it sucks and it's not fair. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made things so weird right before you left. I just wish I could go back sometimes. Relive those final days. Instead of figuring out if your flight was refundable and scouring Craigslist for sublets, I wish we had driven out to Cumberland Lake for the millionth time, eaten overpriced ice cream, and swam out to the docks.
End of play. Woo! Man, all of these playwrights just making me cry. Just like flat out. I'm an emotional being tonight. What can I say? That was Martha and What We Inherit. Gorgeous. I cannot wait to share with you. This is the last play for us. And yeah, afterwards, we're going to do a little bit of a talk back with some of the playwrights. So I'm really excited for that opportunity. Now, I just want to make sure Martha has changed her name.
Yes, I have.
Great. Awesome. Okay. So this is the last play, Afterlife's Anomaly by Sarp Demirel. And the characters, Julian is an art student at UBC, a determined man in his early 20s. Raya, past lover. He wears a wristwatch from the previous play. Now I'm saying wristwatch, terribly bad, and a worn out casual attire. Raya, a former science student at UBC, a woman in her early 20s, Julian's past lover. She wears a white dress. Props, one tape recorder, one wristwatch, one small notebook, one pen, 2 hot beverage cups, a small case filled with incense sticks, and one lighter. Setting, Julian ambles up the walkway connected to the raised podium stage between UBC's Brockhanen buildings. He has his head cast down. He holds a tape recorder in one hand. He stares around for a bit, studying his surroundings. He sits down and dangles his legs over the edge of the podium to the right of the walkway. Raya enters from the stage, but remains unseen by Julian. Hiding behind a wall, she holds 2 paper cups in her hand. One black coffee, the other is hot chocolate. Julian turns on the tape recorder. It starts recording. He takes out his notebook and flips to the page. Raya listens to as Julian begins to talk to himself while periodically reading some of the lines from the notebook.
Day 36. It's already day 36. I've been thinking, and thinking is tough for me, as you know. My thinking draws too much from the past and muddles the present, presenting the future, but still, I've been thinking. We met here, didn't we, Raya? When you slipped over the black ice, that insidious bastard, you skid across into the water just there. Thinking back on it, it's funny how you actually slipped into my life. It seemed for a bare moment the gods above smiled down, basking you in frigid cold water, basking me with momentary permanence. Understandably, you were freezing and quite unhappy. By you, I was known as the asshole for laughing, and by me, you were known as the idiot for helping you. I said a boiling cup of coffee would warm you right up. The coffee shop, Great Dane, is right around the corner. Coffee? What I need is a jug of hot chocolate. You didn't care that you were dripping cold onto the pavement. I suppose you were safe. Hypothermia would be scared shitless to mess with you. I'll give you that. And I wasn't scared. I didn't even question the reasons why my heart thundered and why my feet were quick to follow you anywhere. I wasn't thinking then. And it felt good. Felt right. I came into this in a panic, this relationship of ours. It just happened that I was there waiting for a moment of satisfaction, a moment of contentment. I happen by those things almost every day. When I hooked my thumbs into your belt loops, or when you kissed the nape of my neck, or when you sang happy birthday softly into my cheek, your voice curled under a smile, your lips brushing a kiss with each syllable. In those moments, a year in, we were happy, weren't we? I was happy. But during the days, those moments were absent. I forgot about them. I questioned the reality I had lived with you. I became a person that threw away permanence. I've been thinking the incomprehensible person that I am was, you guessed it, fucking idiot. Still am. Not because I helped you when I fell, but for not loving you as much as you loved me. There are days I look into the water, I see a distortion. I blame the pebbles that I fling and fling and fling into the person I see reflected there. They cause ripples that never end. They create waves that crash as loud as a hummingbird landing on an oaken branch. See, I don't understand myself anymore. I don't understand the things I'm saying. I've been thinking of apologies, that night you lay sleeping, or so I thought, on my chest, listening to a heartbeat that did not beat as strong as it once did on our first day, or the second, or day 36 of my damn graveyard visits. I remember it so vividly. Your eyes awake as daylight, but you weren't really there. I come here to talk to you. You know that. You know of my insanity by now. What I'm doing is crazy, talking to a ghost, but I can't tell the difference anymore. You can't either, and I don't care. I'm just a man hanging around, even though everyone in his life is dead, at least in one way or another. Just a man bringing dandelions and daffodils to a grave, trying to get something out of it. Trying to help, I suppose. You are my limbo, after all, my stasis and my rebirth. If I can fix this fucking hurt in my chest, if I can fix this.
Raya enters and extends one hot beverage cup toward Julian.
Hey,
There you are.
you were expecting me?
No, sorry, it's nothing. Hi, Roya.
Are you going to?
Yeah, I'll get it in a moment.
Okay, no worries.
Raya places the cup coffee cup gingerly on the ground, center stage, and walks off to the back of her wall. Julian stares at the cup for a moment, then looks at Raya. She is sipping hot chocolate from her own cup. She makes a face on the first sip, but then continues sipping. The notebook is closed on Julian's lap, but he has his pen ready in hand.
So you heard all of that?
It was quite hard to miss.
So it was real painful for you, huh?
No, not at all. It's just sappy, almost pretentious, but genuine.
I suppose I expected a different answer this time.
This time. Did we talk before this? Sorry. My memory's been really foggy lately.
Don't worry about that. Keep going. What else did it make you think of?
Well, it reminded me of when we first met, when we truly met, when I opened up to you and you opened up to me.
It's good. Very good.
You okay? You seem a bit off.
I'm perfectly okay.
The coffee might help.
Can't drink it.
What was that?
Nothing. Just muttering to myself.
Well, I know how much you appreciate coffee.
Okay, I'll start drinking it in a bit. Thanks, by the way, for the coffee. I mean,
Did I remember it all right?
it's not much to remember. It's just black coffee.
And that was never how you described it. You called it a cup of routine. Yeah, that was it. Sometimes you just call it Rue for short. You said that it made you be more carefree or careless. A bit of routine to take you away from the things that worried you. Yep. I was dating someone like that. I should have seen the warning signs there, honestly.
It's okay.
Julian, I meant that in a good way. You were a welcome change to the monotone.
Yeah, let's not get into that again. How's your hot chocolate? It taste okay?
It's strange.
What do you mean?
I can't taste anything. No sweetness, no chocolate. I don't even feel it going down, but the cup feels heavy. Maybe. Oh, I messed up my order. Super weird though.
That is super weird. Yeah. Well, don't worry about that. How about we move on? You were doing fantastically just now. We don't have much time, so let's keep moving through this, okay?
I guess. Sure.
Good. Let's see. Where are we right now? Okay. So
Wait a second. Before we move on, can I ask one thing?
what is it?
What are we doing here exactly?
Oh, that's a first. I would love to give you an answer, Roya, but we really have to keep moving.
I guess we can talk about it later.
Yeah, maybe. But look, I can say that what we are doing here is for you, to help you. We don't want to stray too far away from where we're trying to go, wherever that is. But if we do veer off the path, things go wrong, and you, how do I put this lightly? You get stuck.
I guess we can talk about it later.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Look here, Roya. Look at me. You can snap out of it. You've done it before.
I guess we can. What the heck was that?
You're fine? You're fine. See, you're back with me. Let's keep going, okay?
Raya places the hot chocolate cup on the ground.
I wanted to see you.
And why do you have to look at a notebook to say that?
Shit. What did you just say?
You're acting like I can't see you're reading lines off a book right in front of me.
What? You've never been able to.
I have eyes, Julian. Eyes. And is that a tape recorder? Are you recording me?
No.
It's still there. I can see it.
Oh shit! What am I gonna do? I have to reset. This is too big of an anomaly. I have to reset. Yeah, that's it. Let's just start over again.
Julian fumbles around in the inner pockets of his jacket, pulling out small case filled with incense sticks. He makes to light one of them with a lighter.
Roya. Roya?
I can't hear you. Everything you just said is absolutely insane. A reset.
The lighter snuffs out. The incense is not a light. The rest of the incense sticks clatter onto the ground with the case.
This is bad. It's okay. It's okay. There's always tomorrow night. She'll come back and we can just try again. Okay. Do not put tape recorder out in plain sight. Do not take out notebook in the middle of conversation. Do not show notebook. Memorize the necessary lines. Okay, that will do it.
What is happening?
Like I said, don't worry about a single thing.
You were writing a goddamn instruction manual for yourself to deal with me. How the hell am I supposed to not worry?
I can see how this looks like, but in a few more minutes, you will forget this ever happened.
That does not ease any sort of anxiety I currently have, Julian. I want to let you know that that's the case. If for some reason you don't get that.
Look, I can tell you about what this is, what's happening, but you're just going to forget. It doesn't matter. And there will be bumps like this along the journey and we'll patch them up and keep going. And sooner rather than later, you'll leave this place and won't feel the need to return, won't feel the need to relive this over and over. You'll be okay.
Nothing you're saying is making any sense. Trust me, Julian, I will remember.
If that really is the case, honestly, that's concerning and will definitely complicate what I'm trying to do here.
And what is that exactly?
I can't get out of this, can I?
Nope. I'm not budging at all.
You really are the same infuriating person.
Ryan makes to move towards Julian in a menacing way. Julian holds up his hands in compliance gesture.
Okay. Where do I even begin? Well, I suppose that I can start off by saying that you, Roya, aren't really here.
Oh, that's a good one. No, that is a good one.
I have never been this serious in my entire life.
What do you mean then? That I'm dead?
Dead. Yeah.
Oh no, this is all a big joke.
I can prove it to you, Rue. Look, say something. Anything you want. Most of anything you've ever said since the first time I've come here to see you, those things have remained the same, except these recent developments. Those are new. Scarily new.
How is that going to prove anything?
Just do it for me, please.
Fine. Do you think I wanted you?
Out of my life.
I stayed up all night.
Worrying about if you still loved me.
Do you want a break?
From us? I'm sorry.
Why are you so calm about this?
I've become used to it. All I can say is I've been here for more than 36 days. 36 days isn't a scary number. I stick to it every time. Sometimes I take a few days off, but I never add more. I don't add.
How long, Julian? How long have I been?
2 years.
2 years? This is insane. This is insane.
Look,
How did I?
Our time tonight is running out. Just a little over a minute left. Let's just keep going. Do you really want to know? Raya, you died in your bedroom. A brain aneurysm. Overnight. While I was right there. Right on my chest. You died right here. See, I still haven't gotten over it. It hurts me something deep, Rue, especially after all the other shit we were going through, not getting to speak to you before. Yeah. Only these moments bring me some form of peace, but I'm not fully there yet. We're not fully there yet.
You still care about me.
It only took your death and all the pain thereafter for me to remember why.
Clearly, you're not fully there yet.
Yeah. I'm not, but I'm getting there. Rue, I have to say something. This, how do I put it? Hearing you talk to me like this again, an actual conversation, was real nice. Even under these circumstances. I really miss you, you know?
I know. I might just derail the conversation again to experience this. Maybe I won't forget what happened this time.
Maybe. I'm trying, Rue. I'm trying my best to help you. I won't leave you, even if it takes another year. I'll be here tomorrow night, same time, and we will get this right, and you will move on. Do you trust me?
Who else can I trust? A somewhat competent whack job I care about? Or no one at all? I'll choose to trust the whack job. Thank you very much.
That would hurt if you weren't saying it with that smile of yours.
This is still so much to take in. My parents.
I know. I'm sorry, Rue. We really don't have much time left, if any at all.
Oh, I guess we can talk about it later.
Yeah. Maybe we will. We will try this as many times as we need. We are getting close. I can feel it. How does that sound?
Shitty.
I know. I know, and I'm sorry. I really am, but hey, at least you can forget.
Raya grows silent. Julian packs up all his equipment. He turns around as if to speak again, but falters. He instead waves goodbye and walks off the stage the way he came in. After a moment, Raya walks over to the coffee cup center stage and looks at it.
You didn't even touch your coffee. I guess we can talk about it later.
Raya picks up the coffee cup, leaving the hot chocolate cup on stage, and leaves the stage the same way she came in. End of reading.
That was fantastic. Yay. Claps all around.
I also got teary-eyed at that one too. Like, god damn,
Whoa.
Blaze.
Yeah. Tonight was it was like the death and the bird motif lineup. So actors, very well done. Playwrights, if you want to join the Zoom, we're going to try and keep it short and sweet, but we are going to have a little Q&A. Audience is already very familiar with our director, Laura Harris, at this point, but like claps for Laura as well. on a program well directed. I'm Adriana, one of the producers. I can't remember if I actually introduced myself at the top of that. But I'm part of a team of 3 producers. Amalek and Rose Payne are the other 2. They are not on camera, but they are here and they are awesome. So we'll just wait for playwrights to join our little meeting and we can jump in with the Q&A.
Oh, great. Awesome. Yay. Great.
Right. Let's give this like one more second to see if any other playwrights want to join the Q&A. All right. So why don't we just start actually by each of you just saying your name and what play you wrote. I guess I'll pick from the squares. I will start with Emily.
Hi, my name is Emily Dallas, and I wrote The Sword on the Steps.
Camille.
Hi, my name is Camille, and I wrote Mr. Right.
Hi, I'm Jasmine, and I wrote What You Inherit.
Amazing. Yes, and all the plays were great tonight. So well done to everybody and actors for watching. So I guess my first question, and I'll just pitch this to each of you, would be what the inspiration for your play was. So I'll start with Emily first.
Sure. The inspiration for my play is actually a news article about a young girl who pulled an ancient sword from a lake in Sweden. And I thought it was the coolest idea. And I saw the article like 2 years ago and always wanted to make it a play. And my little brother is a childhood cancer survivor. So it just, I don't know, sort of made sense to me that an ancient sword and Arthurian legend went with that kind of with that kind of battle.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I think the combination of sort of like that whimsical element with that real emotional core was very effective, as you could see from a lot of our reactions tonight. Jasmine, I'd love to hear a bit about the inspiration behind What You Inherit.
Yeah, so I guess I've been thinking a lot about like first year university students this year because I'm TAing, and they've had a really rough go of it being online in school. I've also just generally my work has been more about my hometown, Courtney, so I've been thinking a lot about that place.
Yeah, I also am a TA this year, and there is definitely a difference with these people who are starting college under these unique circumstances, and sense of place really came through. Camille, I'd love to hear sort of what inspired you.
Totally. I think mine started from a little bit more of an abstract place. I was doing like a writing prompt, and the prompt was about writing something about the color white. So for me, that started with a wedding dress, and then writing about characters who were chefs, in a very white uniform, and then it just kind of spiraled.
Oh, that's really interesting. I thought that'd be an interesting way to work, to take a color like that and then expand. That makes a lot of sense.
Thank you.
And then, the elephant in the room is that we're all on Zoom. So I'm going to throw this actually to Laura first and then check in with our playwrights. But how has the creative process been different working on Zoom? Has it really changed the way you work in good ways, bad ways, just ways of interest?
Well, one of the trickiest things on Zoom is like sound. So it's really hard if you've written overlapping dialogue, for example, in Mr. Right, and it's beautifully written and very clear for the actors to do, but people would not be able to hear it. So we had to pretty much orchestrate a way to make sure that at least the dialogue was heard, but it gave the illusion of overlapping, even though it isn't actually overlapping dialogue in a traditional theatrical sense. So that was a fun challenge. And I mean, it's hard. It's even if you like try to orchestrate it, it's like not exactly perfect. And I hate that. I hate it when it's not perfect, but that's okay. Like, I mean, it's a challenge, and you work within that container and try your best. And I thought they did a really good job of that tonight. But yeah, it's certainly, sound is the hardest thing, because when you're in a theater, you're both in the same space. So you have a shared kind of, you're sharing the same air. When you're in Zoom, like somebody's friggin' neighbor could be like crashing in. Like there's all these like different elements that could, interfere. But on the whole, like, I think everybody had a quiet space tonight, and I think, the Zoom gods were with us. But yeah, anything can happen. And I mean, anything can happen on stage too, but like, you can really control it. With the interwebs, you can't always. So yeah, it has that element of spontaneity that you have in the theater anyway, but also additionally because it's online.
Yeah, and I think that's almost filmic, the challenge of sound. Because like I know from being a filmmaker as well as a theater person, like that's always a big challenge with film. Well, not necessarily always a challenge, but like if the sound goes wrong, then that's it. You don't have a movie. And Zoom was a little more like that. So I'm actually gonna throw this to Camille first. Like, how did this affect your writing process, or did it?
I mean, I think I would imagine also all of us are still students and kind of learning how to imagine around Zoom theater. I think through writing this play, there were a lot of things I changed with the intention of trying to make it even easier over Zoom. But then tonight watching, I was like, oh, these are things that, could have been made simpler to help the actors and help the directors, although like Laura and the actors did such an incredible job of bringing this to life. I think also trying to imagine that, where we're seeing our actors is kind of like their head and like part of their torso. So you need to tell a story that doesn't visualize their whole body, which is so different from how we normally imagine theater. And so really thinking about theater on a smaller scale, even just visually there, was really impactful for me, I think, in my storytelling experience.
Thank you for that. Jasmine, what about you?
I definitely was thinking about how many characters to have and like trying to keep it very small. So I wasn't sure like exactly what the context would be. So I was like, I'm just going to try a solo show, which was a fun challenge.
Yeah, no, solo shows on Zoom, it's like a whole other medium. And both you and Emily presented that tonight. So Emily, I'd be curious to hear your angle on this, and also as a fellow writer of a solo show, if Zoom impacted that process for you at all.
Yeah. When I was writing it, I was leaning towards solo show, but I wasn't sold on solo show, and Laura really helped me get sold on solo show, and now I'm super sold on a solo show. But I'm an actor as well, and I think the magic of theater is shaping space and inhabiting space together and sharing it. And I
think she's frozen, but we're gonna wait for her to come back. This is Laura talking about the challenge of sound. And
yes,
here we are experiencing it real time.
Real time challenges. But I want to just quickly jump in.
A lot of magic can be weaved in.
Oh no, what's happening?
Emily, are you with us?
I think I know what she was trying to say though, is
there we go.
Are you back now, Emily?
You just keep going. I don't trust myself.
Oh, no. You finish your thought. You finish your thought. I think you're fine now.
Real live Zoom. Okay, Laura, you want to jump in?
I was just going to say, like, yeah, I agree with her. It's, theater is about shaping the space and shaping the mood and the way that we can be connected to the audience as a uniformed, almost a living organism. I mean, people have said being in the theater, they share a same heartbeat, so I think that's what Emily was going for as well. But also I was going to say with Emily and with Jasmine's piece, I mean, obviously they are solo shows, so they're more verbose in terms of the language. But that being said, I think it worked on Zoom because there's so much character in the monologue. And I think actually solo pieces where they're very monologue heavy can really work on Zoom because it's just about someone talking. And unless there's like an interpreted dance in between it, it actually works. So yeah.
I agree, because solo theater is about intimacy, and this is a very strangely intimate setting. So I think we have time for one more question. So I'm going to give you kind of a dealer's choice of which question you want to answer. You can either talk about sort of your favorite element of the process, or your biggest takeaway as far as what you've learned and want to carry forward. I think finish with Emily in case she's like fully reloaded. But I'll start with Jasmine.
I mean, I think my favorite part of the process was just getting to see it done tonight. It was so interesting to like, hear an actor embody it. And so I just want to say thank you so much to Laura and to Martha. That was really special.
Well, I'm glad that's what that was for you, because that's, why we do the festival, so that you can hear it. And, I think you don't really know what the play is until you hear it. What about you, Camille?
I think similarly to Jasmine, it was definitely such a joy to be able to hear like Daniel and Janelle bring the characters I had written to life. And thank you so much to Laura for really helping bring out that vision. And I think there's so much I also learned just from hearing good professional actors really share these roles, and thinking about how Zoom theater might be a reality for a while, or just digital theater being something that might exist in the future, just how I can continue to refine my craft.
Laura, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I got really emotional tonight for a couple of reasons. I mean, Janelle's such a good friend of mine, so to be able to kind of share this moment with her across the coast is like pretty incredible. Also, I was thinking a lot about my mother today, and she passed away of cancer. So it was like this sort of two things coming at once, and so I got quite emotional, and it also made me go, wow, I really miss theater. I really miss this type of performance, this type of industry. I mean, I just miss it. I miss hearing people speak and hearing actors speak words, as dumb as and simple as that sounds. But I also, what's the last thing I was going to say about that though? Was also, it's been a year since a lot of people have acted, right? And a lot of people have done anything. And you're like, wow, fuck, like, I hope I can swear. But anyway, like talent isn't going away. Like I think a lot of people are like so impatient and so sad and like so frustrated. And I get that, but like their talent is still there. Their talent is actually just at the surface and it's ready to blossom. So it just makes me very hopeful for the future too, in terms of seeing performers perform, because it's still there. It didn't go away. Didn't go away. Yeah.
Yeah. No, because the thing is, like, Zoom theater in some ways it reminds us of what we're missing, but at the same time we can have that like cross-coast collaboration and at least a way to connect with other people during this time and to still create works of art that have an impact, which I think all the pieces did tonight. It doesn't look like Emily is going to load again, but Emily, thank you for doing the portion of the Q&A you did, and for your play, to all the playwrights for their plays, and the actors for great performances, and Laura for amazing direction. I think that all of these plays have futures ahead of them, and I hope that they go into production virtually or in person, or however you envision the show, across Canada or maybe internationally, who knows.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say congrats to Barb and Sarp as well, who weren't joining us tonight, but congratulations on your work. It was wonderful, and I loved working on it. So
yeah, we loved hearing it. So congratulations to Barb and Sarp and all the playwrights. If you're watching and you liked what you saw, come back next Saturday, 7 p.m. for more plays. And you can go to the Brave New Playwrights website to learn all about what's going on. There's also a playbill. So if you watch any of these plays and are like, I want to learn all about these writers, actors, and directors, you can learn all about them. So you can go and see that. I think we're ending our time tonight. So I'm going to channel Dr. Bonnie for a second. I'll tell you all to be kind, be calm, be safe, and keep supporting the arts. And hopefully we'll see you all next